good, Shadows? Your boy back. Before we start, man, I want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in and thank y'all for subscribing. Y'all helping out the channel a lot. Y'all have no idea how much clicking that subscribe button means to me, man. But yeah, man, if you're coming back to see another video, welcome back, man. Thank you for supporting. If you're new, welcome to the channel. But today we're gonna react to AEW wrestlers who regret joining. So we're gonna see who regrets joining the company. And yeah, man, let's see. And yeah, again, man, thank y'all so much. I I'm almost done filming the 420 video I'm doing with my cousin. So please, if y'all want to see that on 420 this Saturday, it's gonna be in my other channel at For Better Bros. So please check that out and please subscribe there. We got a lot of content coming our way. But yeah, man, let's get to this video.
AEW have signed many wrestlers in their 5-year history, and in recent times we've seen some of the first major departures for AEW. But there are wrestlers still within the company who definitely don't want to be there, and of the people who did leave AEW, some of them, it could be said, also regretted being there. So today we're
Just not facts. They didn't come out and 100% said I regret being there. So I guess they're just gonna say what they think, which is kind of, in a way, it's kind of corny. Like, some are obvious, but then at the same time, you never know nowadays. People can feel a certain type of way, so it's kind of corny when you don't really know who really regrets it. But we're gonna see, man. I'll give my thoughts.
We're going to discuss a few of those cases, both in and out of the company. So like the video, and let's talk about AEW wrestlers who regret joining.
William Regal, he did say he regret joining, like, the minute he signed.
Alright, now this first entry.
Honestly, I feel like he was a spy for Triple H. I don't know about y'all. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised.
Is already controversial, as AEW and William Regal parted ways on seemingly amicable terms, and Regal has spoken fondly of his time in AEW. However, I think it could be said with how it all went down in the end and the reason why he left, he regretted being in AEW.
I mean, he did say that though.
But we'll get there. William Regal was released from his WWE contract on the 5th of January 2022, ending a 22-year-long tenure with the company in a very unexpected decision from the WWE. William Regal in the last few years had mainly been used as an on-screen authority figure and coach, and was known for the way he said "War Games." And just a couple of months later at AEW Revolution on March 6th, William Regal would make his AEW debut in one of the best AEW debuts of all time, as he came out during Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson's post-match brawl to slap some sense into both of them. Like I said, one of the most awesome debuts in AEW history, and with this debut and alignment with Moxley and Danielson came the formation of the Blackpool Combat Club. At first it would just be Mox and Danielson tagging up with William Regal managing them, but eventually themselves and Regal went on a search for more members, scouting younger talent of the AEW roster, and thus entered Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta was a member of the Best Friends stable, but was being scouted by the Blackpool Combat Club, and after impressing all three of them and proving himself in a match against Jon Moxley, he made the switch from Best Friends to Blackpool Combat Club. And then that summer they were also joined by Claudio Castagnoli, who came in as Danielson's replacement against Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door, as Danielson would be injured, and was also introduced as the newest member of Blackpool Combat Club. He would join their side in the Blood and Guts match against the Jericho Appreciation Society in a win, and it was a big year for Regal and the Blackpool Combat Club. They would continue their rise all the way until Full Gear 2022, where Moxley had a match with MJF defending his world title, which MJF would win after William Regal helped him by handing him his brass knuckles. A swerve that really came from out of nowhere, but this was done for a very specific reason, and that's because Regal was looking to leave AEW and return to the WWE. And that's exactly what would happen, and Regal only ended up being in AEW for 9 months in total.
That's crazy.
All in all, the 9 months were definitely a success, but he wanted to return to WWE to be with his son, and Triple H was also now in control, which definitely played a part. According to EC3 of all people though, Regal apparently instantly regretted joining AEW, but I'd take this with a grain of salt because it's EC3, but it's very clear that when he saw his son in WWE and Triple H in charge, he did regret being in AEW, else he wouldn't have left. Regardless though, the Blackpool Combat Club are still around and still using that name, and William Regal's AEW debut remains as one of the best ever. In my last video, I spoke about Danhausen and how he is clearly fed up in AEW, but I didn't talk about what Danhausen has actually done in AEW so far, and that's because I simply didn't remember. So, I've decided to be a YouTuber for once and do some research, and let's just say it's no wonder I didn't remember anything that he did. Danhausen debuted on the January 26, 2022 episode of AEW Dynamite, appearing during the Lights Out match between Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy. He was teased as a dream signing prior by Tony Khan, and so seemingly big things were coming, but we'd have to wait around for his debut as he was injured, and he wouldn't debut until May of 2022, where he got squashed by Tony Nese on Dynamite. And then after the match, Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling would continue the attack on Danhausen before Hook made the save, who Danhausen had been interacting with for months, and just like that, Hookhausen was formed. At the Double or Nothing buy-in, they would defeat Nese and Sterling, and it would end up being the only match Hookhausen teamed up for, as the team fizzled out shortly after, and Danhausen was back to loitering around, getting squashed whenever he did wrestle on TV, and putting curses on people. Danhausen would then align himself with Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, and honest to God, I don't remember any of this happening. Hook and Cassidy would actually challenge for the tag titles at Revolution 2023 in a four-way match also involving the Guns, the Acclaimed, and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and once again, I do not remember this happening ever at all, and this sounds like this was the most cooked the AEW tag division ever was. And since that match all the way back in March, he's only wrestled 3 times, one in a multi-man tag match on Rampage, a dark match, and a battle royal at World's End, which was back in December, which is his last AEW match to date. He has been appearing on Ring of Honor occasionally recently, but with his recent Twitter activity in regards to the CM Punk / All In controversy, as well as his relationship with Punk, it's clear whose side of the drama he's on, and he's sending a very clear message to his employer, AEW. Looking back at Danhausen's AEW run, he must have put a curse on himself when he first signed.
Colt Cabana.
We always talk about how CM Punk regrets signing for AEW, but you know who probably also regrets it? Colt Cabana, the guy in the middle of the AEW CM Punk drama who got caught completely in the crossfire. Just for some context, if you didn't know somehow, Colt Cabana and CM Punk used to be the best of friends until they were sued by the WWE Doctor for the podcast they did post CM Punk departure from WWE. And despite the fact they won this lawsuit, this would lead to another lawsuit with Colt Cabana himself suing CM Punk after CM Punk supposedly went back on a deal to pay Colt Cabana's share of the legal fees, thus ending their friendship. Colt Cabana debuted for AEW at Revolution 2020, coming to the aid of SCU, and after floating around on the roster for a bit, he would find his place as a member of the Dark Order, who would take him in, and this meant good TV time and exposure for Colt, as he was an integral part of the Elite / Hangman Page / Dark Order storyline, and like I said, was getting regular TV time and exposure weekly. But after that storyline concluded, TV time for the Dark Order became limited, and eventually in March of 2022, Colt Cabana was taken out of the group and off AEW TV entirely, seemingly out of nowhere. And of course, this was all attributed to and blamed on CM Punk, with theories and reports going round that he had something to do with it, and this was infamously brought up by Hangman Page in an unscripted moment during a promo with Punk, much to Punk's chagrin, which CM Punk of course denied at the All Out press conference before calling Colt Cabana out for sharing a bank account with his mother and getting into a brawl with the Elite backstage. Whilst Punk was suspended though, Colt Cabana would make his first AEW appearance in months, challenging Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor title in a match that was seemingly a rib against CM Punk, and it was also a rib to the fans because the match was absolutely trash. And that match all the way back in November of 2022 was his last AEW TV appearance, CM Punk of course departed AEW, but Colt is still employed and he wrestles dark matches for AEW and also works Ring of Honor as part of a tag team with Brandon Cutler, but who knows if we ever see him on AEW TV again. In a recent interview, CM Punk was actually asked about if he had interacted with Colt at AEW and stated there was a time where Colt Cabana tried to talk to him backstage, but Colt was told by Punk he'd never be spoken to by him without a lawyer present, so that bridge is burnt forever. Colt Cabana joined AEW to be a part of the Dark Order and have another run with a major wrestling promotion, but ended up getting caught in the crossfire in one of the most explosive wrestling dramas in the past few years. He must be regretting his choices. Guys, that's it from me. Leave a like if you want to see more wrestling content and
I think the Danhausen one, yeah. And the William Regal, like I said, I heard from another source and I remember now it's EC3. So yeah, he did say that. I will say Colt Cabana, we don't know, maybe he's like it, maybe he doesn't. You know, at least he's in Ring of Honor. I didn't even know that. So that's something, but yeah, we're gonna see, man. So sorry for yawning. I know y'all be probably sick of me yawning, man. But you know, what can I do, right? Just gotta put the grind in, man. But no, man, thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. We're shit, like, you know, again, man. I just want to say thank you to you guys for keep coming back, and those of you that are new, again, thank you for coming and checking me out. I will, like I said, the 420 video is gonna come out on 420. I'm almost done with it. Me and my cousin almost done with this. So head to the Forbidden Bros. It's actually, and then right into the, I linked it in my description when you click my channel, so it should be there. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like this, man. This is dope ass shit. You know, like I said, I like this list. So yeah, man. I agree with the Danhausen one for sure, but we'll never know how these guys really feel. Like, we can't just be like, oh, it's obvious. But again, we don't know how people think. We don't know how people show emotion. So we can't take no one else's word for it but these guys if they ever decide to talk about it. But yeah, man, that's it for this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and man, y'all stay safe out there. Shadows, Ricky out.